but
Yeah, yeah.
no offers from anybody
Mhm.
except for Glasgow University. Went
Okay.
for an interview and I never heard back from them. Like I had no idea what to do because I wasn't
Yeah.
getting into the UK. Like I just knew I wasn't going to get in.
Mm.
After applying and
Yeah.
applying, I was on like Google on my laptop and I just typed in
Yeah.
medicine in Europe and
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
all that. There's so many options. Like I was like, there's so many
There's a lot of
options in
options.
Europe. I just remember like my first night, like I had the shower on and I was in the shower and I was just bawling. I was like, what have I done? I was like, I'm in Bulgaria, man. I was like, oh my
Um,
goodness.
What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to the channel. Hope it's not the first time you're watching one of my videos, but just in case it is, I'm a final year medical student and biomedical science graduate studying King's College London. And guys, today I have a really special guest on the program on the channel today, who is Pelumi. Pelumi has a really inspiring story about how he actually got into studying medicine in Eastern Europe. He also has a YouTube channel as well, and I think he has a really cool story that I'm actually really excited to hear, bro. So, Pelumi, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, and
Yeah.
what you're doing, man?
What's up, guys? My name is Pelumi Daniel. I'm also a biomedical science graduate and I'm also studying medicine, but I'm studying medicine in Bulgaria. And
Okay.
yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Okay, and you're in second year. You just told me, right? Second year right now.
Yeah, I'm technically a second year, but I've not started second year yet. So yeah.
So just about to start. Just about to
Yeah,
start.
about to
All
start.
right, cool,
About to
man.
start.
And so now you're in Bulgaria, eh? Which, for those of you that
Yeah,
don't know, it's somewhere in Eastern Europe, right? More or
Eastern Europe,
less.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay, and
in
what's
between
city?
Greece and Turkey. Uh
Okay,
City. I'm in Plovdiv. I don't know if you've heard of Plovdiv. Have you heard of Plovdiv?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've never heard of it.
No.
Never heard of it.
It's like the second most popular city in Bulgaria. It's like an hour and a half away from Sofia, which is the capital.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. I got you. And so before that, you did biomedical science in the UK, right?
Yeah, I
So
studied
where
biomedical
were you for that?
science. Sorry about that. I studied in Glasgow. So I was studying in Glasgow and I
Okay,
finished 2020 last year and I came here last year as
okay.
well. Yeah.
Right, right. And so before that, where were you? Were you in the UK still, or was it somewhere else?
Yeah, so I'm super weird, man, because I can tell my accent is I've not got a Scottish
It's
accent. I've got a
interesting.
really weird accent.
It's
So
interesting.
yeah, I'm Irish by like my nationality. So I grew up in
Okay.
Ireland and I moved
Okay.
to Scotland aged 17. So yeah, I was 17
Okay.
with Scotland. So I did 1 year of secondary school in
Okay.
Scotland, and then I went to uni the year after. And yeah, that's my
Okay.
story basically. Yeah.
Damn, that's a hella interesting story, man. And
Yeah.
somehow, like in the mix of being in Ireland, being in Scotland, you decided to pursue career medicine, right? And if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, did you apply straight after A levels after secondary school?
Yeah, so what happened was with me, it was very sticky because I
Okay.
applied um I applied in Ireland before I left the UK and that just
Okay.
didn't work out. So I applied
Hmm.
again in Scotland in 2015
Hmm.
and that
Okay.
didn't work out as well. So yeah, during my A levels, but in Scotland they call it Scottish Hires, Advanced Hires.
Okay. So
Yeah.
before so essentially after high school you applied and then you
Yeah,
applied again after you graduated biomedical science or like in the second year of biomedical science.
pretty much.
And then I'm assuming you were unsuccessful in the UK. Am I right to
Yeah.
say that?
Oh yeah, very unsuccessful. Oh my goodness, like I've got some mad stories, but yeah, unsuccessful.
Okay, all right. So let's delve into these stories, man. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, you should see my videos, but I have so many stories on
Yeah.
like my stories about failure, like the
Yeah.
struggles to get into medicine. So what have you got for us, man? What stories you got?
So the first time I applied to medicine, um,
Okay.
so I was doing the UCAT, right? So I spent my whole
Yeah.
summer studying for the UCAT,
Yeah.
like, and I was like smashing. I was smashing these like practice tests, and I
Okay.
was like really confident. So I was studying in the library. I get home the night before. I go to bed super
Yeah.
early. I make sure everything is okay. And so
Yeah.
basically, I took my UCAT in Stirling, which is like an
Okay.
hour outside of Glasgow. So I take a train there. So I
Yeah.
get to the train station. I go to Stirling, and I get to the desk, and
Mm.
I realize that I don't have the correct ID. So
Oh
my
man.
passport was expired and they
Jeez.
wouldn't let
Okay.
me in. And I was like,
All
it's
right.
me. There was like a screen with like your name on it, and it was like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
me. My passport has the exact same name, and they were like, no, we
Yeah.
can't because your passport's expired. And I was like,
Damn.
I literally broke down. I
Oh
just started
man.
crying. I broke down and started crying.
Yeah,
I was like, please, this is my dream. I want to be a doctor.
yeah.
And they were like, there's nothing we can do. And I was like, oh
Uh,
my goodness. So yeah, that was the first time I
oh,
applied to
bro.
medicine. And yeah.
Okay.
But
Fighting.
yeah.
And this what? So did it stop there? Did you carry on with the process, or did you just not apply then at that stage?
After that, I applied again. So this is
Okay.
like so in Scotland, a uni's 4 years. So I applied in my third
Mhm.
year of uni, my penultimate year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
did my UCAT, did
Hmm.
everything, submitted everything I needed.
Okay. This time, did you have the
But
right passport, the right ID?
I made sure my passport
Okay.
was valid. I made sure it was
Thank God.
valid. Made sure I had
All right.
everything just so that they couldn't
Okay.
reject me at the office for the UCAT. So I made sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
But once again, what did I get in my UCAT? I forget what I got, but it was like a very average score. It wasn't like great. It wasn't
Mhm.
low. It wasn't at all. But
Yeah. Yeah.
no offers from anybody
Mhm.
except for Glasgow University. Went
Okay.
for an interview, and this was
Mm.
last year, and I never heard back from them. Like not even like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
you got in, you didn't get
Bye.
in. So yeah, that's
Mm.
that's my story of not getting into
Okay.
the UK.
All right. So where did it go from there? So obviously, like I've been there as well.
Mm,
So for
mm,
anyone who's watching, and also for you, I don't know if you know, but so when I was at A level, I didn't even get the
yeah.
grades to apply for medicine. Back then we
Mm,
had year 11, sorry, year 12, year 13. So we had AS and then A level. The
yeah.
second last year of uni, you sit exams, and then based on
Mm,
those grades, you get a prediction. So I
yeah.
was predicted A star, A B, and the B I was
Mm,
predicted was in chemistry. And I was basically
mm,
told, because of your B prediction, like don't even waste your time. Like no one's going to accept
yeah.
you, even though it was A star, A B. And
Mm,
then, I mean, it's good I didn't apply anyways, because when I actually got my final A level grades, I averaged A B B. So even if I did end
mm,
up applying to medicine, I wouldn't have made the offer anyways. So
yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
I was like super bummed out, like exactly like you said, I was super bummed out. I didn't even set the UCAT at that point because I was like, "There's no point. If these are my
Mm,
predictions and I'm being told not to apply, then I may as well not apply."
yeah.
So then I applied for biology first, actually, because I
Mm,
just lost all hope, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make an application to whatever. So I applied to biology for
hmm
all 5 unis, and
Yeah.
then I changed my mind like halfway through, and I was like, actually, I discovered biomed. Let me just see what
Mm,
that's about. Did a bit of research, and I was like, actually, biomed sounds really good. So
yeah.
changed my unis to biomed. All 4 out of 5 said yes, that's fine. Went to uni for 3 years, and as you did, my second last year, I reapplied or applied for the first time actually for medicine.
Yeah.
I got a pretty average score in UCAT actually. I got 6.45 on average, which
Mm,
is like it's like not super high, but it's also not like super bad.
yeah.
And then I got an interview for the graduate program at Birmingham and the undergrad program at King's. Long story short, went for the interview at Birmingham, was rejected. I missed out by 2 places, so I was like second on the reserve list, and I was just like, bro,
Yeah.
like, so close. Put me on the reserve list anyways, but I was like, second is pretty, like my odds are pretty good. So I was a bit gassed even though I was on the reserve list. But then
Yeah.
unfortunately, they got back to me and they're like, yeah, you're rejected in like February time. And then I was
Ah.
like, okay, so it's not going to happen. Kings hadn't got back to me. It's now March time. They
Yeah.
haven't got back to me. I'm thinking there's no chance. It's March, like it's so late into the process. Kings is probably like one of the top choices of all the universities I apply to. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And then randomly out of nowhere, they invited me for an interview. 5 days later, I sat the interview, and then got into medicine. And I think it was
Yeah.
a lot to do with luck as well, man. Because I kept saying to to my friends, like my girlfriend as well, I was like, my story could have gone the other way as well. I was
Mm,
also looking into applying abroad, Bulgaria as well. And if I hadn't got in, that would have also been one of my options actually. And I think
yeah.
by God's grace, like that chance where Kings contacted me, I was so close to the end. It was so close to the end, and just
Yeah.
having to reapply again. But I find your story super inspiring for me as well,
Yeah.
actually, because I would have done the same thing had I not got into the UK. I may have reapplied one more time in the UK, but also probably
Mm,
reapplied internationally. So I want to go into more detail about what you did from that moment you just said. So from the rejection in the UK, firstly, how did you feel, man? So obviously there's a long process. You did biomed. How did you
yeah.
feel at the time?
Man, I felt a bit bummed because, like, the
Mhm.
thing with biomed, it was I really enjoyed it, and I
Yeah,
was lucky enough to, do some placements and everything. And I was like, it's a
yeah,
pretty cool career, with all the stuff you do in the labs, all the
100.
diagnostic works, a lot of like kind of the independent projects you do, and like, working like all the machinery. Like, it's pretty cool. But I
Yeah.
did a placement thing in like shadow work, with a surgeon up here in Scotland and
Okay.
with a GP up in Falkirk. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is exactly what I still want to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm about to
Yeah.
finish biomed and I still want to do this. So I felt a
Okay.
bit bummed and I felt very stagnant because I was like, I don't want to be a biomedical scientist, like, for the rest of
Yeah.
my career.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be a medical doctor.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
was also like, I had no idea what to do because I wasn't
Yeah.
getting into the UK. Like, I just knew I wasn't going to get in
Mm.
after applying and
Yeah.
applying. And
Mm.
literally, I was on like Google on my laptop and I just typed in
Yeah.
medicine in Europe. And
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
all that. There's so many options. Like, I was like, there's so many
There's a lot of
options in
options.
Europe, so
Mm.
many. And I had to like kind of like, make a list. I made like a little system as well, like on like, what universities would be best for
Yeah.
me, all those kind of things. And Bulgaria was
Okay.
like at the very top of that list. So yeah, it was
Okay.
Bulgaria from there.
And why not apply to the UK again? Like, why didn't you just say, I want
Mm.
to take a gap year, reapplied and, just try one more time?
Yeah, do you know a lot of it? I'm a man of faith, right? Like I'm a man of faith, and I was
Hmm.
like, I had to like pray about everything. I was like God, like what do I do? And
Yeah.
I was thinking of taking a gap year because I had a pretty cool job. I was working
Mm.
in a COVID
Mm.
lab, just
Okay.
testing COVID samples, and I was like, you know what? I could do my UCAT a year from now, everything, blah blah,
Hmm.
blah, and apply again. But then like I was
Okay.
like deep inside of me, I was like, I
Mm.
just don't want to go through that rejection again. And I was
Yeah.
like, time
Yeah.
is ticking. I'm gonna be,
Mm.
obviously now I've got a different outlook on it, but back then I was like, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
24, starting
Yeah. Yeah.
university. I don't want to be,
Mm.
like, starting like too late and finishing late. You get me? Like, I've got friends who
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
literally like in their second year of like, like really cool like graduate jobs. I've got mates
Yeah.
who graduated medicine, so it's like
Mm.
I kind of want to catch up. So I was like, you know
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
Bulgaria or abroad has to be an option now, and
Okay.
I kind of got that confirmation from God and parents and friends, everything. So yeah.
Okay. And so okay, that explains as to why you started looking abroad. And other than
Yeah.
Bulgaria, what else were you thinking about? Where else were you thinking of going?
So with Bulgaria,
Mm.
the thing with Bulgaria, it's a 6 year program. So I'm in
Okay.
Bulgaria for like 6 years, and
Okay.
my other option,
Yeah.
two options after Bulgaria were Poland and the Ukraine,
Okay.
which
Okay.
both offer graduate entry medicine, so like a 4 year program.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing with Poland though is Poland can be a bit expensive. Like they can be very expensive. I think the tuition
Okay.
fee for first year is like 12,000 to about 14,000 pounds like a year.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
like, just can't afford that. Like this is not gonna happen. Just can't afford that.
Yeah.
And then obviously being a black man, I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know how that's gonna work, whatever
Okay.
in Poland. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was like Ukraine.
Okay.
Um, the Ukraine's also a 4 year program, but
Okay.
I was looking at their program. I spoke to people there,
Yeah.
and it's not as easy to come back to the UK and integrate back
Hmm.
into the NHS once you studied there.
Mm. Okay.
So Bulgaria has a tried and tested, proven track record of like lots bare like UK students, Irish students
Yeah.
coming to
Yeah.
Bulgaria, studying here, and then going back to the UK and
Mm.
having like a seamless transition. So I was like, you know
Okay.
what, that's probably what I'm gonna look. Even though it's gonna take a bit longer, it's
Yeah.
probably the best option for me. So yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense, bro. And so
Yeah.
how's your Bulgarian?
Ah,
How's that coming along?
so Govarum
Okay.
Bulgarski, Maluk Bulgarski Yazik. So that means I speak a little bit of Bulgarian language. So
All
we get
right.
taught the language here. So I would
Okay.
say my Bulgarian isn't great. Like I can kind of understand what people are saying, but I find it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
hard to form sentences or whatever, like whatever. But
Okay.
it's okay. It's
So
okay.
so you're out there. So you're out there learning medicine at the same time as like a whole new language as well.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Damn. And
yeah,
how's that going?
yeah.
How you finding that, bro? That's
Um,
quite. That's like a lot, man. I was
it's
struggling with
it's
medicine as
not
it is.
it's it has its challenges because we have
Okay.
I believe we have so our how our timetable works is we have eight
Yeah.
hour like intense Bulgarian lessons for our first 2 years. So we have
Okay.
two 4 hour blocks a week. So two 4 hour
Okay.
blocks. So we have 8 hours. So it's like you've like finished like this like a long anatomy lecture. You've been
Yeah.
studying about like CNS stuff, like about the medulla, like all the tracks and pathways, and then
Yeah.
you're about
Yeah.
to go into Bulgarian language class, and it can be, I'll be honest, it can be a bit draining, but you just
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
do it. It is what it is, man. We're gonna have to speak to patients one day in Bulgaria, so we kind of have to, pick up the language. So it is what it is.
Yeah. That's true, man. That's true, and that sounds like a lot, man. But it sounds like you're like it sounds like you're dealing with it, man. Like by what you just
Yeah.
said. I didn't know what you said, but it sounds good, man. In regards to like, okay, so we've kind of gotten to where you are now, and so how did you get to where you are now? So being in Bulgaria, what was the application process like? So from that day,
Mm,
you prayed about it, you chatted to your family, you made that leap, that decision. How did you
yeah.
then get to where you are now? What was the application process like?
So, um, what I had to, yeah, so I was like, okay, how does this work? So what happens with
Yeah,
that is what a lot of
yeah,
people do from the UK or from Ireland
yeah.
is they find an agency
Hmm.
to kind of represent you and do all like your legal work and all your paperwork because there's a lot of legal work, a lot of translating documents, all that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So I had to find
yeah.
an agency first and foremost. And a lot of these universities require entrance exams.
Okay.
So I had to find an agency that could help me, prepare for the exams and also who could help me with my documents, and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So
Okay.
there's loads of agencies, and I found one that kind of pretty much like dealt with all that for me. Like they literally applied for me,
Okay.
did everything for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Okay. So let's break it down. So you found the agency that they hooked you up,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then so what was that? What was the actual application process involved? So you said entrance
yeah,
exams. Did you have to do that as well?
y- yeah. So the entrance exam, it's a lot of these universities in Europe require you to do, except for Italy, a lot of them require
Hmm.
you to do like a-level kind of level standard, like biology and chemistry, sometimes
Hmm.
physics, sometimes English exam as well. And with
Okay.
Bulgaria, majority of the universities require you to do an A-level standard biology and chemistry exam. So you just go in, you
Hmm.
do an exam, and then you get a grade. Depending on your
Hmm.
grade, there's like a cutoff point, and then everyone gets
Okay.
in like above the cutoff point. So that's what happened. So I took the entrance exam, and when
Okay.
you're successful, a lot of the agencies take over your paperwork and then they
Hmm.
handle all of that for you. All you have to do is send
Hmm.
it to them and then they sort it out for you.
Okay. So what do you have to send them? Like, what sort of paperwork are we talking?
Yeah, so it's actually it's a lot, but it's not a lot. So you have to get like your medical records, which
Okay.
it's actually quite tricky to get that. I'm not gonna lie, because especially during the pandemic where your GP is just swamped and busy, it was quite tricky
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
that. You have to get like documents from like your passport,
Hmm.
from your birth certificates. You
Okay.
have to get
So just
like
admin stuff, basically, isn't it? More or
admin
less.
stuff, yeah, pretty much, and like health records as well to
Hmm.
say you're healthy, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So okay, fine. So that all makes sense. So that's how you got to where you are now. And now
Hmm.
that you're finally here, obviously you've been there for a year. So what's it
Yeah.
been like? Let's starting off with like the difficulties. How has it been
Mm.
in terms of just the whole thing with the medicine, with the settling down?
Yeah.
What have you found difficult while you're there?
You know, um, I've made a video about this that I'm gonna post. But the things that I found difficult,
Okay. Go
the
watch
top
it.
two things I found.
Go watch it. I'll link it down below.
Thank you so much. The things I found difficult, first and foremost,
Hmm.
the language. When you first move over, the language is a big barrier. Like they've got a
Yeah. Yeah.
completely different alphabet. It's called the Cyrillic alphabet. Like
Okay.
everything is just different. Like the P's aren't P's, the T's aren't T's, like the S's are not S's. Like
Okay.
everything is different. So any knowledge you
Okay.
have of the English language, chuck it out the window. It's
All right.
basics. So just chuck it out the window. So the language
All
is
right.
like difficult.
Okay.
I'm very used to how we were taught in the UK. So you
Hmm.
go to your seminars, you go to like
Yeah.
your practicals, everything like that, and everything is kind of you're a lot more spoon fed in the UK than
Okay.
you are in Eastern Europe. A lot of it is your own work. Like you have to work hard here. Like you have to do a lot of your own work.
Okay.
You don't get a lot of the kind of same support or the kind of infrastructures you would get back in the
Mm.
UK, like having like an online platform where you post like
Yeah.
your assignments, whatever on. Do you get me? A lot of it here
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
still kind of old school,
Hmm.
but they
Hmm.
are using stuff like MS Teams now to you know catch up. So I think
Okay.
transitioning from like the UK style of teaching to the Bulgarian style of teaching was quite difficult. But I'm not gonna lie, the
Okay.
Bulgarian style of teaching is actually very good as well. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very good, but it just takes like a
Yeah.
period of time to adapt to that. And
All right. All
then I
right.
think the last thing I found difficult would be just not being with your family and friends. The Bulgarian,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very
How
it's
you doing?
very
How's that going, bro? Like, how you dealing with that?
I'm quite a sociable guy.
Yeah.
So I've made loads of friends out in
Hmm.
Bulgaria. How they do it there as well is once you get to Bulgaria, they put you in groups of like
Okay.
14 for the whole 6 years. So you have your own group. Like you go to
Yeah.
class together, lectures together, all that kind of thing. So, I've made
Okay.
friends with loads of people in my group and other groups. So I think friendship wise, I'm cool now. It's cool now.
Okay. All right. So when you first came, I saw in your video like things were a
Yeah.
bit like difficult, culture shock and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So can you dive into
Yeah.
that a little bit?
Yeah. So I remember I went to there's a store. It's very similar to what we have like Little Aldi. It's called Kaufland. I think it's a
Okay.
German store, and
Yeah.
everything was in Bulgarian, like just everything. And it's honestly a big shock. And I was like, I don't even know what I can't even find black pepper. I can't find salt. I can't find milk. Like I don't know what this means. You get
Just
me?
guessing. Yeah.
I was literally just guessing. I got home. I tasted it. I was like, okay, that doesn't taste good. I'm not gonna buy that again.
All right.
So that the language is it's such a big thing. Like once you get
Yeah.
there, it
Yeah.
hits you like a ton of bricks. Like at the airport,
Yeah.
seeing all the sign, it hits you like you're like, wow, I'm in Bulgaria. So
Yeah.
that really hit me. And I'd say Bulgarians are friendly people,
Yeah.
but they're a lot more reserved than people in the
Okay.
UK or in Ireland, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So they've got
Yeah.
like a
Sure.
different vibe. So that can be a bit, different as well. If you're
Okay.
kind of used to how people act, socially in the
Mm.
UK compared to Bulgaria. So it can be a bit different. So that was a shock as
Okay.
well. But yeah, those were the two things, the people and the language. But yeah.
Okay. Bro, what I found so funny in your video is like you said so your mom came with you, right, the first time.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in it for 2 weeks. I've cried a few times in the shower. Just so my mom can't hear me. When I saw that, I was dying, man.
Yeah.
So was it difficult when you first came? Like, obviously, your mom with you, then she left, and then
Yeah.
you're in this new country by yourself. Was that quite difficult?
Yeah, like you said, my mom came with me. We got an Airbnb and she was here for me for like a few weeks. And
Yeah.
I just remember like my first night, like I had the shower on and I was in the shower and I was just bawling. I was like, what have I done? I was like, I'm in Bulgaria, man. I was like, oh my
Oh my
goodness.
god.
I was like,
That sounds like an R&B like music video. Like when they're like crying in the shower about their like ex-wife or
yeah.
something. Like damn. Okay.
So yeah.
And now like being where you are now, okay, so that was like a year ago, right? So where
Yeah.
you are a year ago, has it been worth it? Like, how have you developed since then?
I think everything you have to, look at it with perspective, right? I don't know what I would be doing if I stayed in the UK. Maybe I could have gone to
Mm.
medicine again. Maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe
Yeah.
I'd still be working in the lab again. I have no idea. But what I
Okay.
do know is that I'm enjoying my time in Bulgaria.
Mm.
I'm enjoying like the different teaching style. I'm enjoying meeting
Mm.
new people, learning a
Yeah.
language, traveling. Like it's so I don't try and dwell on what if, like what if I stayed in the
Yeah.
UK? What if I stayed in
Yeah.
Ireland or whatever? Do you get me? So I'm just enjoying
Mm.
like Bulgaria right now for what it is. It has its flaws, but it has a lot of pros. And
Okay.
end of the day, it's still medicine. I'm learning medicine, and it's what I want to do. So
Yeah.
yeah,
100%, man. 100%. And you mentioned, so yeah, it has a lot of pros. So let's delve into that a little bit, man. So
yeah,
other than all the, kind of the cons you mentioned, the cry in
yeah,
the shower, all of that. So what pros? I thought I'd drop that one more time. What about the pros? What have you found, good about being in Bulgaria and studying medicine there?
yeah. I've got friends who also study medicine in the UK as well, right? Who they've
Mm.
started at the same time as I have in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think one thing about Bulgaria is they drill the knowledge into, like, they make sure they drill it into your head. And I'll give you an
Okay.
example, right? So, studying in the UK, the pass mark for exams is like what,
Mm.
40%? It's like 40%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
Hella low.
every exam you sit here is you got
Yeah.
if you want to pass, you have to hit above 60% to pass every single
Okay.
time.
Is that a pro or is that a
So
con, bro? Because that sounds like a con.
so you know what? It can be a con, but I'm not gonna lie to you. End of the day, you're gonna learn your material. You're gonna learn your stuff, man. You have to learn your stuff because, like, I remember like
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
like having conversations with my friends back home about like what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
studying, and they're like, "What even is that?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just have to. I know a lot of the doctors they produce here are like really good doctors, like great doctors that go into it, like that go into the
Okay.
NHS and like work there. So one big pro
Yeah.
is you're going to be a great doctor with great knowledge. That's one big pro.
Okay. Okay.
Like great doctors that go big pro. Obviously, you're learning a new language, new culture,
Yeah.
new friends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of friends, or who hasn't made a lot of friends back in the UK, you are
Mm.
100% gonna make friends in Bulgaria because it can get lonely out here with no friends. So you will
Yeah.
100% make new friends. You're 100%
Okay.
going to experience new culture. You're going to travel because Turkey,
Yeah.
Greece, like all these really cool destinations are like really close to Bulgaria. And I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing, the biggest pro, it's
Yeah.
really cheap, man. Like it's like you can do a lot of things for like less money here. It's mad, like really cool
Yeah.
things for less money. Yeah.
Okay. And so who do your friends end up being? Is there a lot of people like you who've come from the UK, or is it mainly Bulgarian people?
Yeah, so how it is here is Bulgaria is very popular for like people from the UK, Ireland, Germany, Italy, and Greece. So a lot of
Okay.
my friends are literally from those countries who came straight from,
Mm.
Germany, Greece, whatever. Do you get me? So it's very
Yeah. Yeah.
diverse. Like the student population is very diverse. You get a lot of students from
Yeah.
Germany, Italy, Greece, and the UK. So, but the majority do come from the UK. Like you have loads of UK
Yeah.
people out here, and it's mad. Like it's mad. So yeah,
Okay. And what's your
yeah.
future plan? So is it so I mean, you kind of hinted towards it, but are you pretty set on coming back to the UK to practice medicine?
Yeah, so my plan, I've got family in Canada and
Okay.
I've got family back in Ireland as well. And
Yeah.
with Bulgaria, you graduate with an MD, so it's not like an MBBS back in the UK. So I know
Yeah.
with MD,
Mm.
it can be a bit easier to use that to get into like, Canada or whatever to get me
Hmm.
to get a job there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna come back to the UK and do my F1, do my F2 years, and then see if I can
Okay.
go abroad after that. Because I think once you get like the abroad kind of thingy, like you actually really enjoy, traveling and going new
Yeah.
places. So I would like to not just stay in the UK as a doctor one day, but travel and experience a different kind of system, like in Canada or America or
Okay.
in Ireland or whatever to get me. So I have no
For
idea yet. We'll
sure.
see
For
what
sure.
happens.
Okay. And what's that process of coming back to the UK like? Is it GMC accredited, the university in the
Yeah,
US?
that's one thing like I would urge anybody to do
Hmm.
before looking at Eastern Europe is find out if
Hmm.
that university is GMC accredited because that's why they go to the Ukraine
Right.
because a lot of the universities
Mm.
there are not. So you have to do like, all these different exams to come back to the UK. Luckily with
Yeah.
Plovdiv is they're accredited by the GMC. So, you
Okay.
just take I think it's the UKMLA that's coming out, I think in 2 years' time. So
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
take that and then we just come back into the UK, easy peasy.
Okay. Because medicine there is taught in English, right? So it shouldn't be
Taught in
like too
English, yeah,
different at all.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay.
Cool, cool,
So
cool.
obviously now you reach a stage where you're a year into your studies
Yeah.
abroad, and looking back now, if you could go back to like your previous
Hmm.
self, the previous person that you were when you were getting the
Yeah.
rejections, you didn't get to medical school, and you're so confused. And for anyone watching out there who might be in a similar stage, to you, what sort of advice would you give to your previous self?
I think the biggest advice would be not to panic. I think, like I said before, medicine is a long career. It's a thing you're going to be doing for like your whole life. And if you don't get in at 18, 19, even like in your early 20s, like you still have time to, get in one day, apply again. I have friends in Bulgaria who are like 29 going on 30 in their first year and they don't regret it a bit. Do you get me? And you know, if you don't get in at 18, 19, you can apply again, you can work, you can travel, you can just become a better person, much more holistic. So I wouldn't panic, I wouldn't beat myself up. I would just be very intentional with your time. If you want to travel, travel. If you want to, dedicate your time again to plan again, do that. Just be very intentional with your time, but don't, beat yourself up. Don't panic. Don't, be depressed about it. Things always work out in the end. Things always work out. So that's what I would say myself.
That's big, bro.
That's what
That's
I would
big.
say.
Because the thing is, like, looking back when I was 21 and I was getting all these rejections and things weren't going my way, I just feel
Yeah.
like the world's over. Like your world is literally over. And then like looking back now when I'm 25, going to be
Yeah.
26 being a doctor, 5 years later,
Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, I was only 21.
Yeah.
Like I was actually super young. And if I wanted to take a year out to reapply and travel the world in between, take
Yeah.
a gap year, go to Bulgaria, study medicine. If I don't like it, fine, come back to the UK and reapply. Like you're actually super young. I mean, there's so much pressure from different areas, from your friends, from
Yeah.
your family, sometimes from whoever it might be. But there's loads of pressure in this world on social media, wherever, that can make you really feel like you're behind when actually you're not behind. Your story, you're just in a different chapter in your book. Your story is different.
100%.
So I really resonate with that, man. And I guess the last question I always ask, guests who come on my channel is, was the juice
Yeah.
worth the squeeze in the end? Was it all worth it?
You know, yeah, the juice is the juice has definitely been worth the squeeze, 100%, 100%. Yes,
And I'll make sure to jump
it has
on
been.
another video with you in like 5 years' time when you graduate, so I'll ask you that question again, and we'll see if it's hopefully the same one.
Yes, yes.
Cool. All right. Fine, man. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, bro. I really appreciate it. And if people like resonate with your story, people like, you know, everything you've said here, how can they find you? How can they reach out to you?
Oh yeah, I've got a YouTube channel called my name, Pelumi Daniel, and also you can find me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, and I'm very active on TikTok. My name is just Pelumi Daniel 98. You can find me there, and yeah.
Cool, man. And if anyone has any like questions about, you know, applying abroad, are they alright to like reach out to you via Instagram or your YouTube channel or whatever? Will that be alright?
100%, 100%, 100%. My Instagram DMs are always open for any questions you have about studying medicine abroad.
Cool, appreciate that, man. I'll put all the links like on the screen for everyone to like go check out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, bro. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, bro. And I hope this video has added value to a lot of you guys who are watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.